Hi, DJ. Before you told me, I think this is the first time you're going to fight 3 times in a year for a long time. How are you feeling?
I felt great. You know, like I said, fighting 3 times in 1 year. Long training camp, you know, obviously. And I think me, my wife, and the kids are ready to be done for the rest of the year. So we're looking to go out there Sunday morning, go out there and get a W and go back home.
You knew this Grand Prix was going to be tough. Has it been tougher than you thought?
I don't think it has been tougher than I thought. I knew it's tough as just as I thought it was going to be. You know, the back-to-back fights. That was the biggest thing I was concerned about, was is how my body was going to be able to bounce back from these fights. Granted, you know, I am 33 years old, been in the game for a very long time. It's kind of crazy to say that, but we're here now. The finals is on Sunday, and I'm looking forward, ready to go. Got 1 more day of weigh-ins, and go out there and get to work.
How important is staying fit been? Because as we've seen the Grand Prix, particularly the lightweight Grand Prix, there's been a lot of injuries.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Eddie Alvarez told me before we started this World Grand Prix, and he gave me some advice because he's fought in the World Grand Prix before, and he goes, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So, you know, when you're training, you got to focus on, you know, staying healthy, not just grinding yourself down all the time like you do when you're getting ready for a world title fight or just a single fight. So, you know, you got to find a happy balance, you know, take days off, take weeks off. I think before this fight, we took like 2.5 weeks off just to chill, relax, enjoy family, and we got back in the gym, and here we are now.
How much have you followed the lightweight Grand Prix as well as obviously your own?
I followed it very well. You know, Eddie Alvarez, I'm a big fan of his. Doug, a big fan of his. You know, Christian Lee's a late entry for stepping up since Eddie Alvarez. You know, Timothy Nasty Nukin is a nasty athlete. He got injured, so it's part of the sport, you know.
What are your thoughts on Israel Adesanya's win last week in Australia?
I thought he looked great. He looked phenomenal. I'm a big fan of him. I'm definitely a big fan of him, especially since he's a nerd. You know, with the whole Death Note and Naruto and all that stuff. And I'm a big fan of all that, not comics, but those animes as well. You know, I gather inspiration from those different animes. You know, I'm a Dragon Ball Z, Attack on Titan, Berserk, Goblin Slayer. The list just goes on for me.
How important have your last 2 bouts been in preparation for Sunday? What have you learned from them?
They've been great. I mean, obviously, you know, we both, you know, Danny Kingad and myself have both fought the same competition. You know, I finished Yuya Wakamatsu. You know, he was a decision. You know, I had a good fight against Wada. He had a great fight against Wada. So we both kind of had the same parallel of this competition-wise. And, you know, being able to travel and have some good fights underneath my belt, I feel this is probably the most I've felt prepared for this competition, especially since we're going to be competing in the morning instead of at night.
You have a lot of respect for Danny.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
What are your thoughts on his fight with Reese in the last round?
I thought his last fight with Reese McLaren was a great fight. I mean, Reese McLaren's very good, very great grappler, and I think Reese had, you know, a lot of success against him, even had his number. And that's a hard fight to walk away from and say, man, like, who's truly better, you know what I mean? Because it wasn't like, you know, there were some parts in that fight, a lot of parts in that fight where Reese McLaren looked like he was dominating him, you know, and there's parts of the fight where, you know, Danny Kingad was able to reverse it and do some damage, but it was a great fight overall.
You said you struggled to find your groove last time. Is there anything you've done to sort of try and avoid that happening again on Sunday?
What was that? I'm sorry?
You said last time you couldn't quite find your groove.
Yeah, there's a couple things I've done differently this time, and you know, it's little things for myself. But one of the things that we used to do in a long time in the past is we'd always go back and watch my fights. You know, we always get so focused on, you know, who we fight next. Went back and watched my fights, and that's one of the things we used to do in the past that kept me always one step ahead of my opponents. And we went back and we did that. Now we had some actual content for us to watch against 2 great, phenomenal athletes. We went back and watched it, and I think me watching it kind of hopefully it'll get me in my groove a little bit faster this time, because I'm so used to fighting 5 rounds. You know, like 3 rounds is nothing. Like 15 minutes is literally nothing. So, yeah, we'll see.
What are your thoughts on that fight, watching it back?
Against Wada?
Yeah.
It was a great fight. Very big athlete and very tricky. You know, when he got my back, I, you know, had to get his big-ass legs off me, and, you know, we did it, and, you know, we moved forward. So it was a great fight.
It's almost 2 years exactly since you finished that fight with a suplex armbar. Could we see another crazy submission on Sunday?
Absolutely. We can see it. You just got to tune in and check it out.
And quickly, lastly, what do you think of the Grand Prix belt?
It's fantastic. It's beautiful. I would love to have it in my collection.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, and good luck Sunday.
Yep, thank you.